At Red Panda Mining, what the thermals pad size on the 3080 Ti?
So Penguin Pox rather. I'm sorry, but you're gonna have to do your own research. No one can tell you thermal pad size unless, because you didn't even give us a model. Like,
It's different?
They are literally always different, always. They are never the same, never consistent.
Just so you know, so because I'm getting trolled by everybody in this community about doing thermal pads,
don't do it.
Actually ordered every size that I could possibly order. I was like,
what brand did you get?
I have no idea. It's on Amazon.
Oh no. Oh no.
Bought them all. I actually went to Red Fox's channel and I clicked the link and I bought all his affiliate stuff. So I purchased every size that he had like listed in his description, and I went through like the links to see what other sizes that weren't listed, but like it was in the drop down menu, so you could change the size, you know what I'm talking about, in Amazon. They give you like a few different options. So I purchased every size. I don't care, I want them all, so I can disassemble the card, look at it, match it up to make sure it's perfect, because I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing. So that's like the only way I'm gonna learn, is by having everything, because I don't want to rip a card apart and then be down a card because I bought the wrong thermal pads.
I just want to...
My look.
Go ahead.
Well, my take,
yeah.
rather.
So I just want to point out there that if you need to change thermal pads on the card, so guys, for example, if I buy a gigabyte card for $1,400, right? These are real world numbers, guys. If I buy it for $1,400 MSRP and a Founders Edition of this card is going for $700, why the hell would I buy it and replace the thermal pads on it? The thermal pads are expensive. That's a lot of work. It's a lot of labor, right? We're talking like an extra $100. Why would I do that? Just go buy a better card. Just trust me. Trust me. It is not. It does make a difference, but like, why? It's like going to a restaurant and then having to cook your own food. Like,
yeah.
What?
So the only take I have on that is like, a lot of people, if they get either good deal on cards or they've had cards for a while, they're still running and they want to basically keep them running as good as they can and, you know, solve the heat issues or whatever's going on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, then they'll take a shot at fixing it versus buying a new one. It's kind of like somebody fixing an old car when they can't afford a new one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. So I
look at it.
I totally agree with that, but the thing is, a lot of these thermal pad issues are with newer cards, at least from what I've been seeing, is people, it's always, here, I'll tell you exactly the format. XYZ, blah, 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 I just bought a gigabyte, XYZ, blah, 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 thermal pads. That, I'm not even joking, that's literally the format, and my opinion is to just go buy a better card, since these are not cheap. They're very expensive. Gigabytes, you know, screwing us over, but Chump Change does have a very good point. Thermal pads do degrade over time, so replacing them does make them better, especially a thermal paste, especially if it's not a high quality one. But in my opinion, the problem with thermal pads is that there are certain sizes, and then there are certain squishinesses on those sizes, and then there's different types of materials that have different thermal properties. So there's like 3 factors you got to deal with, and you have no idea what the manufacturer has in there until you actually take off the damn thing and measure it, because there's actually revisions between graphic cards on the same family, same model, which they could have changed the thermal pads. So you got to be really careful about that. There can be multiple thicknesses on one side too.
Different thicknesses on that one FE card that he used to.
Yeah.
Oh.
And if you, so if you look at the FE cards, how they're designed, you need like $80 a thermal pad to pad that thing correctly. It's not, we're not talking $5 here. It's a lot of work, and you got to do it right, because if one of the pads is wrong and it's too thick or too thin, it'll either get no contact and overheat, or it'll be too big and it won't make contact with anything else and overheat. So you really gotta like, this is the reason why I don't mess with it, because I've done it before and it's just turned into a disaster.